Now, perhaps you've always fancied something a little bit special in the shape of the classic British mark, the Jaguar. Well, what do you have to do? How do you go about it? What do you have to look out for? How much do you have to pay? Well, £4,000 would get you into this G-Reg XJ40. £5,000 will get you into this e-registration XJS 3.6. Or as little as £10,000 would get you into the latest shape Jaguar X300 models, something like this on an M registration. Now, you don't have to be Arthur Daly or wear a sheepskin coat to drive a Jaguar. They're cars for ordinary people. Something like this could be sat in your driveway. Charles, somebody looking around for a used Jaguar, what sort of age of car do you think they should aim for?
Trouble-free motoring, H onwards. Still be careful. Make sure the car's got service history. Make sure there's no corrosion on it. You will know, if you do that, you won't have any problem with the car. But just make sure that you've got service history. Most important thing.
What's the reason for H onwards? What was the sort of change there?
Basically, when Ford got their act together, you know, they took over in '89, they started to get it right, changed everything. Like, this is an early one, this is not a Ford car, it's a Jaguar car. The 3.6 engine changed to 4 litre. The electronics changed, the suspension changed, steering changed, everything changed in the car, even down to little things like door handles. They all changed. Now, when you get to H, you've still got, basically the early ones, you've got corrosion problems with them. But when you get past that, it disappears. When you get to 93, you've got total, utter, trouble-free motoring.
So what are the main points around something like this that you would ideally look for?
First of all, basically subframe. Be very careful. Driving front subframe on it, they can corrode like hell. Front leading edge of the bonnet, the boot lid. And if you look at an older Jag, you'll understand what I'm talking about. You can find that the boot lid's totally
just put your finger through
away,
some of them.
Gone. You know, make sure all the electronics on the dashboard are working. Make sure the ABS lights go out when they should go out. Make sure your oil pressure goes up. But little cautionary note with oil pressure on the car, it's not the engine, it'll be the oil switch. The engines are bulletproof.
So, I mean, an engine like this is good for how many miles?
Oh, service it regularly, it'll last forever. Literally last forever. I think the record for the engine is something like 560,000 without the head coming off. Serviced.
So in this particular style of Jaguar, you can have the normal cars, then you can get into the Sovereigns and the Daimlers as well.
XJ6, that comes with cloth seats. The Sovereign's got all the toys, as we call them in the trade. It's got the air conditioning, the cruise control, it's got electric seats, leather, alloys. They're all standard. But on a normal XJ6, that's not. All you get is electric windows, central locking, trip computer, electric mirrors. The rest you have to pay for. I mean, the majority of Jaguars do come through with the leather and the air conditioning, the majority of them, but the rest is all extra.
What about prices? What again should you aim to pay to get into a good used car?
7,000 will get you a very, very good one.
But something like this is only 4,000.
Well, this is 4,000, but this is a very good early example of a 3.6.
So there are good examples.
Oh, yes.
Before Ford took over.
Oh God, yes.
If you look around hard enough, you can find them.
As I say, cautionary note: be careful. Make sure it's got the history. If it's got the history, everything will be working on the car, the lot. You know, and the body will be right on it. But just make sure it's got a body.
So just imagine some 10 years or so ago when this car was new, it would have cost the prospective owner then over £30,000. This is a 3.6 Sovereign, and of course it's got all the toys on it. Leather, air conditioning, the wood trim. Under the bonnet, that 3.6 litre 6-cylinder engine, 221 brake horsepower. There were also on the early cars a 2.9 option, which if anything is probably slightly underpowered, producing only 165 brake horsepower. And then soon after this car, well, Jaguar decided to change the engines and went for a 3.2 and a 4 litre lineup. You can also look for special edition models like the 3.2S or the Gold or the XJR or that later model, the 6 litre V12, which is just an absolute stormer. So this 3.6 Sovereign would cost you now, with some 87,000 miles on the clock, just £4,000. When you look at what else you can buy for £4,000, I don't know, 5-year-old Ford Fiesta. I mean, is there any comparison really? So how do these cars actually drive? Well, actually surprisingly well. It's a car you can throw about a bit. I mean, they're more of a cruising car. Sit all day on the motorway at 90 miles an hour. Fantastic for doing that. But you can have a bit of fun opening it up on the country lanes with the unique Jaguar J-Gate gear shift and just have a blast.